So welcome back to Bust a Movie.
Hey guys.
Hopefully you watched the movie with us, but if you didn't, then good for you, because those of you who did watch the movie...
Wait, we haven't done the intro.
Oh, okay. No, we haven't. You're right. Let me try again. Or you can.
Oh no, so that's right. You were doing the right thing.
All right.
Hello. Jason.
Hello, Paul.
Hi.
We're the hosts of this fabulous show called Bust a Movie. And welcome back.
Welcome back to Bust a Movie. Let's delete that part.
Nah. That's the best part, is the weird shit you do.
Yeah, that's true.
So we just watched Girl on the Third Floor. Before we do spoilers,
yes.
How did you feel about this movie in general?
I still am just kind of perplexed at what it was that we watched today. And I think that's a good summary of my feelings about this movie.
Speechless.
Speechless.
It was
Not in a
so
good way.
poorly done in so many ways. It just felt like torture.
Drop to 50!
This, by far, in my opinion, is the worst movie we've reviewed so far.
If you like
By a long shot.
If you like to watch like hunky guys just randomly hitting things with a hammer,
Acting like they know what they're doing.
then you should watch this movie. Well, actually, no. Every movie would be better.
I mean,
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
we're so
ahead.
That's right.
So,
Are we going to go to spoilers?
oh yeah, spoiler alert.
So from here on out, there will be spoilers.
Yes.
So
So,
if you haven't seen it and you want to, I don't know why you would, then you go watch the movie now. And then come back. So
click pause
I think it's right there somewhere.
and then walk along and watch the movie and then scuttle back and join
and
us.
hit play.
Hit subscribe on our channel first, though,
And then hit play. Welcome back.
welcome back, everybody, from watching the movie, which you
And
just
I'm so sorry that you did that. It's just the worst movie ever. So,
Let's give a brief recap of what we saw.
right.
So the movie starts off with this guy named Don Koch or
Done.
Coke walking into this old Victorian house, plops some tools down on the floor. There's lots of eerie screenshots which are supposed to foreshadow something that is about to happen. Basically, for the next hour and 15 minutes, it's him hammering stuff.
We find out he's married. His wife has a baby on the way.
And this blonde thing, I don't know,
This blonde woman
slash
who's
ghost,
maybe a
slash zombie.
ghost, but we don't really know.
We never find out. She seduces him
And then he sleeps with her,
with
with this other girl.
ghost zombie thing.
Which he didn't realize, to be fair, he didn't
Yeah.
realize she was this demon person. But if you want to make a good horror film, you want the audience to like and care about the main character. They did
Yeah, just a little
nothing in this movie to make us like him. He was a horrible human being.
Yeah, he really was.
If you're going to make a horror film, you want to create a sense of suspense and dread.
Double whammy. Double whammy.
For the main character.
Yeah.
Right? The audience needs to feel that. And if they don't care about the main character, they're going to start rooting for the ghost or the demon or the whatever because they want them dead, because they're annoying or horrible human being or whatever reason. I wasn't afraid for him at all.
I agree with you. Like they didn't set the characters up very well. We didn't care about them. We didn't even know the name of the wife until the last 15 minutes.
When he screams at her over the phone.
Everything is fine, Liz!
Yeah, and she ends up being like the heroine in the movie. And we don't even know.
And we don't really care about her either.
Yeah, he's gone. Don's gone. And she appears. And there's only like 15, 20 minutes left in the movie at this point. And
Which I was zoning out by then.
yeah, it was hard.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, I think for me, it was the point where he started patching the tar hole.
Oh, after he stuck his hand in a dirty hole?
Yeah, like, who does that?
Well,
Ooh, there's this weird goo I don't recognize oozing from the side of the house. I shall stick my hand in there and feel around a little bit. I don't know what he's doing.
There was definitely an ick factor they were going for.
But it wasn't that gross. It was just kind of like, what the hell was that?
Well, there was one part. Probably the most horrifying part.
Oh, the used condom?
Well, no, when he got like a bucket of ejaculate to the face.
Oh, God.
It was just all over him, and then he had to wash it off.
So that goes back to one of the underlying themes of the movie. The old Victorian house was like a whorehouse in the 30s. And apparently 2 people were murdered inside the house. Yeah, there's like this priest lady as well. And this was one of my
She was crazy.
She knows all about the house, doesn't do anything to like try to convince him to not go in and to live there.
She's just as evil as the things inside. Honestly.
Yeah, basically.
Nope.
She's just kind of there, like every other character that we don't give a shit about. So at the beginning of the movie, his name was Coke, right? Don Coke.
How's it going, Mr. Coke?
And then at the end, when Liz shows up, the priest refers to her as
Mrs. Koch.
Yeah.
It just felt like a continuity error.
Coke.
Koch.
Coke.
Koch.
Oh man, that's another thing. I'll let you can
They killed the black guy again.
first
Person to die is the black guy. What is
Right.
up with this, guys? Come on.
So a marble drops from like a vent, randomly curves around the side of the kitchen and drops down the basement stairs. And Milo, who's the most likable character in the movie, in fact, I think he should have been the lead character.
I agree. He was definitely
Right.
more compelling to watch, yeah.
Anyway, so he goes down the stairs. He's the first person to get killed. He gets whacked in the head with a hammer by this ghost zombie thing named Sarah. She's the evil ghost that haunts the house. Anyway, so Milo dies, and he's the first character to die. Of course, it's the black guy, which that's like the third movie we've seen
It's crazy.
where that happens. Like,
It's like, come
on.
on, guys. How many
that would be
times
great.
did you see a marble rolling across the floor and want to just like turn the movie off immediately?
Yeah, because you see the marble and you're just like, what? Why does this ghost zombie thing like marbles? We don't know. And the movie never explained it. We just don't know.
It made me want to watch the Marble Olympics, which if you haven't seen, have you seen the Marble Olympics?
No, but we should watch that.
Okay, so Marble Olympics, look it up on YouTube. It's far more entertaining than this movie. Watch that instead of this movie. The dialogue in the whole movie was stilted as It was so bad. It felt like they were just like reading their lines off on a teleprompter almost.
I'm Ron Burgundy?
Damn it! Who typed a question mark on the teleprompter? For the last time, anything you put on that prompter, Burgundy will read.
Yeah, it was rigid and adolescent at times, especially the points where they tried to deal with sexism. Remember that? At the bowling alley?
What do you say? Are you
Sexism?
queer?
You queer? Excuse me? It's a simple question.
It was so adolescent that it had the opposite effect. It made them appear to be sexist and homophobic.
Even though they were trying to make it appear like they weren't.
Yeah, it was just sad. I mean,
It felt like a
Completely.
side note, though.
they even said
It didn't even feel like this was originally part of the story. They just
It
kind
wasn't.
of threw it in there.
they didn't need it. It added nothing to the movie. In fact, it detracted from it. And they even used the phrase, not that there's anything wrong with that, I think, didn't they?
Nothing wrong with that. I know that.
Not that
Not there's anything wrong with that.
It was.
Well, then why did you
it was-
ask?
Yeah.
Why does it matter?
I think the reason he asked was because the house doesn't like straight men or something like that.
Yeah.
That was a literal phrase from the movie.
That house just seems to be bad news for straight men.
And I guess it's because that house was a whorehouse and the people who died there were females who were part of it. They didn't explain that, so we don't really know for sure.
Well, the only explanation we got was at one point near the end, the wife is like in the stairwell, and this demon child named Sarah comes up the stairs, and she just starts explaining the backstory to the wife, to Liz.
In about 30 seconds.
She's like, this is why everything happened. And I'm like, thank you. Okay.
No build up.
Yeah, like, okay,
No
now
context.
I
She's
understand.
just like, this is why I want to kill you.
This is a good example of what not to do. Show, don't tell.
Yeah.
That's good writing. They just told us. She just showed up and said, exposition. And then...
It was just lazy filmmaking and storytelling, in my opinion. They didn't do any... there was no context throughout the movie. Character development was shoddy. The typical, like, zoom out and then in screenshot of, like, a scary backdrop.
Or the slow zoom.
Like a half-opened window at night.
And
looking at it from the ground up.
And the drapes are blowing in the breeze.
Yeah.
And like you're slowly zooming in.
Exactly.
There's something ominous on the inside.
They had like 1,000 of those in the first 20 minutes of the show. And you're just like,
here's
this
a
is
nail.
too much. It's too much.
Here's a clogged drain.
Too much foreshadowing, not enough delivery.
Yeah, no, that's
It
true.
was just foreshadowing for the sake of foreshadowing. And it didn't work.
Yeah.
So
I think it was really poorly made in just so many ways.
Coke.
Gotch.
Coke.
Gotch.
It's bad. It's a bad movie.
So-
Just straight up.
how did you feel about the ending?
It just felt like they couldn't figure out what to do for the ending, so they just went over to their 3-year-old and said, "Hey, what do you think we should do to end this movie?"
Oh yeah, seriously. Like, so Don like disappears.
He like cuts his
And-
face in half and peels his skin off, and then the demon person is inside. But
We don't know if that was actually him.
if
or
that
if it was
actually
just a
happened, or if-
hallucination.
yeah, there's so many things that just were not explained.
And then after the skin peeling incident, Liz watches this, runs out the house.
Well,
talks-
she takes forever to run out of the house. First of all,
Like she keeps going back.
she
to
goes
the
to
kitchen,
this room,
downstairs,
that room,
upstairs.
that room.
For
She's
no apparent
freaking
reason.
out. She's seeing ghosts and demons and blood and all kinds of stuff. And here's the other thing: it's broad daylight outside.
Yeah.
Why don't you just run out the front door
And
screaming at her? She never did.
She sees one of her good friends, Milo, like stuck in the wall, laughing at her. She doesn't run out of the house at that point. Like,
why is
why
he
would you stay
laughing?
there?
Why is he laughing at her?
Because he's a zombie ghost. I don't know. And then she runs either back upstairs.
And then she goes like in the kitchen or something, or
She doesn't
downstairs.
just leave the house. If I saw one of my friends dead, laughing, at
Severed
me,
head
so-
in the wall.
so I'd get the out of there. So eventually she leaves. She goes and talks to the priest lady who, actually, they're standing.
She was literally on the porch.
on the porch of this haunted house, and then they sit down and start chatting like they're having tea. And
This happens all the time.
and that's
Don't
basically
worry
what the
about
priest lady says. 6 months later, the baby's been born. She stays in the house, and
marbles start dropping from the
top
ceiling,
vent.
from the vent into the cradle.
And
Which I'm like, the baby's gonna choke on those marbles. First of
probably
all.
like that's a horrible idea. And then it zooms in on the vent, and it's the dad.
His face.
He's grinning,
It's
laughing
Don.
in this like scary clown giggle, and then that's the end of the movie.
He says, "That's my girl."
Oh,
That's my girl.
yeah, and that's the end.
I thought it was the most kitschy thing I've ever seen.
So I almost think the ending would have been better had it been over 20 minutes before that, before Liz showed up, and he wakes up on a starship 500 years in the future and says, "Oh, geez, that was a bad dream," and then that's the end of the movie.
or he was plugged into some kind of simulation.
Yeah,
And he comes out and he's like, "Hey, that was kind of fun, guys. Hey, we should do this again next week. Thanks for inviting me over."
Oh, what the hell? Whoa, where am I? What in the
55
hell?
years. Not bad, Morty.
Where's my wife?
Morty, you were just playing a game. It's called Roy. Snap out of it.
yeah. So I'm pretty sure that this movie is going to possibly take over my top spot as the worst movie I've ever seen, even beating out John Travolta's grand masterpiece, Battlefield Earth, which is such a god awful movie. It takes a lot to beat that one.
I've seen some pretty bad movies in my time. Movies can be bad in so many different ways. And this coming from a horror genre, it's really easy to get horror wrong, I feel like.
And they did,
And they got it
every possible way.
so wrong.
Sometimes movies are so bad that they're funny, like
Troll 2.
Troll 2.
Troll 2 is the best bad movie in the world.
pretty bad.
But it's so entertaining. It's legitimately fun to watch. And so this movie,
not so fun. It just plain sucked.
not good at all.
So I think we can unequivocally say this movie's busted.
It's
Right?
busted to hell.
Yeah.
This movie is blown to smithereens. Or what? This movie deserves a different title than Busted.
Yeah,
honestly, this one it's like should have never existed in the first place.
It's like Busted, and the movie Battlefield Earth took a massive dump on it. That's really
then,
what it was.
And then Don Cock decided he needed to bang on the plumbing with a hammer and get the poop all over him.
And the black stuff poop pops out of it. That really happened, actually. Anyways, it's busted. Avoid this one at all costs. Do not watch it. Unless you want to watch a bad movie.
We'll put the link in the
for an
description
hour
below.
and 30 minutes. Like, just don't do it. Yeah, so in the link.
We'll put a link below, but avoid the link unless you're some kind of
Unless you're a glutton for punishment.
Dr. 50!
Don't watch it. If you want to watch a scary movie, I don't know, what do you think?
Okay, Psycho. If you haven't seen Psycho, go watch it. The quintessential horror movie. It has the old Victorian house. It has so many wonderful things about it. I won't spoil it. Alfred Hitchcock is the master of horror for a reason. What Lies Beneath is also very good.
Oh.
Wait Until Dark with Audrey Hepburn. It's an older movie, but it is phenomenal.
And then if you want suspense, I saw a good one recently called Extraction. It's a Netflix original. Great movie. It's got Chris Hemsworth is the main character. Anyways, so that's Jason and Paul with Busted Movie. This one is officially busted.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Make sure you click subscribe and check out our Patreon account as well.
Please feel free to put in the comments below what you think
that's right.
we should watch. And if you have a suggestion, whether it's a horror movie or not, whether it's any type of movie, something that you want us to punish ourselves with, or a good movie even that you would like to suggest and get our opinions on, please put it there.
Could even be a rom-com.
Put it down in the comments below.
Or a documentary.
Or a mockumentary.
Mockumentaries are good.
Or a mockumentary. Is that a thing?
It should be.
We should make one.
Let's do it. All right. Peace out.
High five.
Coke,
Gotch.
Coke,
Gotch.
Coke.
Gotch.
Lots of marbles. And more marbles.
How's it look?
Pretty good, I think.
Let's see.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Looks good. Like it. Really like it.
look.
Oh, oops.